Well, Prime Minister, thank you for your email, which I received with some surprise, especially after my video that I made explaining the futility of mathematical projections. You said that we can't ignore these mathematical projections, but in my recent video I explained just why we should be ignoring these mathematical projections, and I explained how your advisors only use mathematical projections and models and how they are consistently wrong. And of course led by the famous, notorious perhaps I should say, Professor Neil Ferguson, who is laughably consistently wrong, as are most, it seems, of your scientific advisors. And there are plenty of scientific advisors, of course, who are suggesting that we shouldn't be locking down, that A, it does no good, and B, that the mathematical projections are all wrong. Now, I know you were Oxford, I know you read classics. I expect you have problems with numbers. You don't understand numbers. And so you're being fed disinformation from civil servants, all of whom, of course, are your enemies and want to see you fail. They want to see you fail. The civil service is foursquare against you because of your stand on Brexit. They believe that you are a genuine Brexiteer. I have my doubts personally about that, but they believe it. So they want to see this government fail, they want to see you fail, mainstream media want to see you fail, which is why they continue to propagandise these statistics. You know that death certificates are being interfered with, the protocols of death certificates are being interfered with, so we're not seeing the number of people who are actually dying of this virus, the number of fit and healthy people. All you do is report the number of tests and positive tests, which is unreliable in its own right. So none of this is reliable. You're closing the entire country down for very, very dubious scientific reasons, which are hotly contested. You say in your memo, I'm under no illusions about how difficult this will be for business. Well, you don't know anything about business. You're a politician. You're a professional politician. You're a very wealthy man. You live in a free house with a nice big garden and servants. You don't have any idea at all what this is going to do to business, this second lockdown. You say there's a noticeable increase in mortality rates, and you know the cost and the damage of jobs and livelihoods and mental health. Well, you see, you don't. You don't. How could you possibly know what ordinary people trying to go about their business, live their lives, are feeling? How old people who are finding it more and more difficult under lockdown to see members of their family. And all for what? All for what? For a virus that hardly kills anybody if you're fit and healthy. It takes away the old and the sick in the main, and it's very nasty. Nobody's disputing that. But the thing to do there is protect, and voluntarily protect, let me add, the vulnerable, not lock up the whole country. And if this virus is spreading, as you say, and if the tests are right, does it matter? Because it's not killing anybody. You might as well spend billions of pounds testing for athlete's foot. It simply doesn't matter. So you don't understand what's going on. I find it astonishing that you climbed the greasy pole to become Prime Minister with absolutely no sense of responsibility or understanding of leadership. You're being buffeted around in the breeze by civil servants and academics whose salaries will arrive regardless at the end of the month of what goes on. You suggest perhaps that we're all in this together, but we're not all in this together. Some people are losing their pubs, their restaurants, their livelihoods. Self-employed people are suffering. But the vast majority of people in the public sector aren't suffering at all. Their pensions are unaffected. Their salaries are unaffected. So yes, let's have another lockdown because it doesn't affect them. And until you insist that all people in the public sector take a 50% pay cut while we are in lockdown to match up with the rest of us suffering, then perhaps you might have a higher moral case. But at the moment, you have no case at all. And people are now beginning to ask, is this about our health at all? Is it about health? Is it about coronavirus? Or is, and I don't want to sound swivel-eyed, is there something going on that we don't know about? Has this got something to do with George Soros or Bill Gates? Or the Clinton Foundation, or people just trying to sell us a vaccine, and this is a coronavirus. We know it comes from the same stable as the common cold. So suggesting there's going to be a vaccine next year or anywhere soon is absolutely ludicrous. And you say, oh, well, we should be all right by next spring. There won't be an economy left by next spring. You've got to come into the real world. You can't go on living on this planet Zog, Prime Minister, for much longer. It's going to end in tears. Sort it out, dear oh dear. As most of you know, my work is very heavily independently research based, and I get my information from all over the world. It would help if you press the subscribe button and the little bell next to it, because the more subscribers I have, the more likely it is that international independent research institutes will share their material with me. It's most helpful, and then of course I automatically share it with you. So, surprise, won't cost you anything. Thank you very much.